Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continued playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8.6 and lots of mods. Okay, one thing I'm never really good with is, shall we say, post theater cleanup. Often just leave units sitting where they last were until I need them. But so what I have done is just started, even though I have still clean up this garrison unit and this unit here, and see about getting this occupied, which I'm sending some of these units I got from Czechoslovakia remainder to some port areas. I don't know exactly what I'm going to need because we got the SS and the police for France. We've got the military occupation here, and I'm going to shift. I'm shifting this up to there because, and putting the police back to here, I think is what we need to do with that. So, but we are shifting some of the panzer divisions down in here, getting ready for Yugoslavia invasion. And as I said at the end of the last episode, we're going to invade Denmark and Norway, but Denmark first. And we're going to do that right now. We're going to declare war, and it's going to be conquer. I do. Okay. Oh, probably should have waited a day or two. I'm sending up some bomber forces north, but I think we would have done a better job going through the diplomatic decision thing, in that I think it lowers national unity a lot more for Denmark, but I don't think it's going to be a real problem. Well, we can support that attack. So we're going to start that. These guys can play fighter bomber here, which is what they are. I was just asked again about, this is we're bombing, but we're also battling some Danish fighters, is why don't I use these fighter bomber types and twin engine as escorts, and why don't I use twin engine fighters as escorts my bomber? And I know I was doing that. Now we should separate these two because I want to use them differently. And well, that's maybe not the way I wanted them to separate, but whatever. At least some coverage up there. Why I hadn't done that. I know I'd done it in the last series, and I like it. The fighter bombers have just short range, and I'm obviously using them here as interceptors, but you can see that's out of their range already, so we need to move them north here. So these are, in my opinion, only good for stacking with a bunch of stuff. Close air support aircraft, the Stukas. And then because they are fighter bombers, so they're good for that. And so you need the twin engine fighters to go with your light and medium bombers. So that's mostly what you have is Germany. And I like to do that, but I think it's only like 3 or 4 squadrons or air groups or whatever you want to call them of the twin engine fighters right now. And I sort of have them on as night interceptors going up. And I wanted some of that too, because I'm not sure how smart the AI is to like bomb me right now in the middle of the night, but that's what would be best for them to do. And those And there will be better techs coming someday here. Night equipment here, which we need to get all these done. So I'm going to do that soon, I guess now. Now I'm realizing it. That makes them even better, but the so I'm sort of using those as night fighter interceptors. But once I build more, I want to stick them with some, because I do have a decent range, with some of the light and medium bombers, as well as some of my naval air units as escorts. So I do, generally speaking, recommend that. Okay, so Siam has been annexed by Japan. We have lost the effects of Vichy collaboration. Why? Because they are now in the Axis, or? I don't get that. Or because, I don't know. Okay, damage control systems for escorts. We're going to stop that. Pushing too far ahead on that. Hydrophone advance, good. And we're going to stop that. And which helps, we can now improve our detection systems on submarines, which we want to do that. Davos. I talked about this in the alt series. Davos here. It is supposedly a hotbed of German Nazi, and maybe the headquarters of the German Nazis in Switzerland. Notice I'm being very precise here. Not the National Front, the German-speaking Swiss National Socialists or Nazis. You notice it's the outdoor sign for one of the meeting is the NSDAP. So it's not the there was an NSAP or whatever, the National Socialist Swiss Workers' Party is the one, or something as one splinter group, and then the NF for the National Front. This is the public signs in Davos for the German party. And note that in their meetings, though that looks like maybe a red Swiss-style swastika, they're using the Nazi the German swastikas here, because only the Swiss parties were banned from using foreign political symbols. The German nationals, the guys holding German passports, or women or whoever, living in Switzerland, and there were lots of them, could use openly swastikas and other Nazi things, because probably it would be more lapel pins than big armbands as like the SA, but if there was any sort of meeting or something, they could wave their flags and do the whole thing because they were foreigners. There were, I'm sure, some like Gustav, who was killed, dual citizens, so that they might be, now these guys theoretically as being foreigners, not voting in Swiss elections, but operating here. Now, of course, there were also a lot of Germans that were anti-Nazis that over time, from, well, presumably before even the Nazis came to power, just happened to be living in Switzerland, but other Germans that were anti-Nazis that had moved to Switzerland as well. So there was both an anti-Nazi German community and a Nazi German community. And as the war went on, I do believe the Nazi German community continued to grow, primarily from people getting away from the war, the bombings and the war, and just had enough of a connection, enough of ability to move to Switzerland that was going on. So we could support them with just a teeny bit of money and supplies, or not. We're going to do so. But they're not a real big factor in Swiss politics. But if you weren't prepared for the the last episode's gathering attack, but you were still being prepared for, or your attack didn't lead to immediate war, you're still preparing for an attack, they will help you a bit in your getting support for cores and whatnot if you're going to do a Nazi takeover. So come on, guys. Okay, you're all going around them. Okay, send in the Polizei to the west. Establish. Yes. Now, where is... Let's go all the way down here. Okay, so we now have for the Dutch. Let's find... This is sort of a crossover. It's basically in English, the higher SS und Polizeiführer, or leader, obviously. And he was most assuredly an SS man. If you want to use some of my ORPRO generals, basically all ORPRO generals were SS as well. Though when they were functioning as SS, they wore their SS uniforms. And by this time, by the war being going, they were all gray SS uniforms. Or sometimes I see mid and late war, these guys, which I definitely looked for, guys in the police uniforms, because you notice they have, it actually changes over late war. They do sort of an SS style oak leaf generals patch, but it's green, and so it's sort of a lighter field. Or they're earlier on, they're sort of using, again, I think it's a different color, but the army style generals patch, and so that but even their lower, their captains and their lieutenants were sort of military style or police military type style ranks, and later sort of switched to the SS style. They're still green, and so when they were in their police duties, they were wearing their police uniforms, and they had a badge sort of on almost down to their stomach. It was a runic SS symbol. We'll give it to this guy here. And when they were in their SS role, they were wearing their SS uniforms. They went back and forth. Like I did find a photo of an NSKK general, or not, NSFK, Flieger Corps general, or whatever equivalents in the Flieger Corps, in that uniform in, I don't know, 1943 or 44, but he was also a Luftwaffe general, so sometimes he would appear in that rank and that stuff. So we got these guys here by the coast. Let me find that. These guys, where are these? They're also there. Let's move these. Where do we still have? Up to here. Make sure we don't have an outbreak of... We're going to be moving the headquarters, the regular army headquarters soon, so... Yeah. Let's take some of these. No, I don't want a leader form. They always give me this Muir guy, but no leader. And send him over, because we're going to lose some of those headquarters at some point. Keep it nice and green. Nope, does it look like we've already got... Oh, this version of Totenkopf. So we're going to end up with 2 Totenkopfs. Cheating a little bit, but oh well. I think I can bring myself to use it. Well, let's stick them down here. Let's get him IK. Not this Luftwaffe guy. That's sort of a name. There he is. Get a demotion. I had him up higher because he was in charge of the Totenkopf Inspectorate earlier, which I think he still remained, technically, even as division commander. A lot of these guys didn't want to give up their power centers. Okay, create, what is it, 16th Infantry Division motorized. Yes, might as well do that now. Okay, good. Windhound, okay, the early elements of Windhound. We noticed there's another division out there that has the symbol. Okay, upgrade. Yes, we want to do this. Even if it's pulling away something, just do it now, even if I was shifting and planning to use them. And both of these guys, let's move them topside, get them up there. But you can see here I am building more. Keep getting interrupted. But twin engine fighters, and those I will be using as escorts for bombers and such. We want to take these guys. I know it's hovering just around 99, but anti-SOs, some spies are messing with us too. Okay. Oh, we just got embargoed by the U.S. Well, that's going to end a lot of our submarines losses to submarines, because we only had incoming shipping from the U.S. We still have some outgoing supplies to some of these other people. Well, we're not in a bad situation yet, but let's see what we can do with the Soviet Union. Anything? Okay, well now we have some rare materials. Good, so I guess maybe they were under some bad effects. So we are 80 some down there. We are right now positive. Well, okay, so we're going to go with rare materials if we can. We got 40, so let's see if we can buy 30 from them. Don't want to over stress their situation and have it canceled. I'd rather keep it going and have that accepted there. So at minimum, that will reduce our rate of decrease of our stockpiles. Hopefully soon. We got lots and lots of money stored up, but hopefully soon we'll either initiate a trade to sell some supplies to the Soviets, or we will, okay. Oh, see, I moved in some fighters too. We're gonna take them there with Shao. He's gotten a bit better. He was at 2, I think. I just had him as a motorized infantry of the light infantry battalion. Okay, Huff Duff is advanced, which is very good. Radio frequency direction finding, but which allows us now to move into active sonar, which we want, of course. So how are we doing now, Dan? Okay, a lot of these we lost little progress we had. I did sort of have a bit of a marine division forming here. Going to use one of the headquarters. Just, you know, for naval invasions. Don't know when or where I'm going to use them, because obviously we're getting ready here. Okay, now just you guys can ground attack. I shifted a bunch of forces that should have waited a couple of days on. Didn't really need to, but what should give her? Find the enemy, attack them. See, they're bombing a lot of them. Okay, well, we can head up that way. Still got a fair long ways to go for a lot of these. I'm going to use mostly armored and motorized divisions for... Okay, he's not going to be needed for that. For the invasion of Yugoslavia, I'm going to miss not having some of the mountain divisions, I think. But well, with that idea, let's see if we can move some of our light infantry divisions down. Okay. It's a moderate substitute. Okay. Now you're going to be there, you're going to start shifting over. Buy a mercenary unit. There were... Not now. There were a few things, but not... The Allies, a little bit. Germany, a little bit. Some of the stuff might be almost called mercenary units, but most had some sort of political. Yeah, this Stug Life, obviously, that's sort of taking a modern thing. Yeah, we want that. Get some Stug units. We'll see those coming. I saw the event when I did the alt version. I'm presuming most of you are at least checking out the alt version. I think a few of you may like the alt version better than this version just because it's different than my normal sort of thing. Because it really is a big thing that I wanted to see my mod. You know, I hadn't in all those art theft events that are coming up, you know, that we've had some of the early Foundation. I've never seen them really in game, other than auto-firing them at the wrong time and having them at the wrong place or something, you know, and not even occupying the Netherlands or something and firing the event for it just to see if it fired. So I wanted to see my mod, and I wanted to see some of the other developments in the other mod sub-mod makers, as well as regular Black Ice. Sending down some SS units for occupation duty. Okay, how are we doing here? Oh, you gotta go out that way. Well, we then just make it come and loop around there. We can support that attack. They're weak cavalry. Both weak as in small, less than, you know, 400 men plus, but they're also just don't have good stats. Yeah, better than nothing. Okay, yes, so we've won that. Deutsches Red Cross nurses, yes, we want those. Gain some field. Okay, I want to see, are we still? Okay, we're still doing first aid there. I think this is what happened to me last playthrough. Do yes, and then... No, but I'm sure it helped out a lot. How's Italy doing? Okay-ish. Where am I? Yeah, they're getting better. We'll wait a bit before we start sending them back out to sea again. Okay, well, we've got that. Good, now we're gonna move you this way. Got those really nice commando units as part of you. Okay, we got you. Okay, AA controls advances for escorts. That is good. And it's grayed out, which is alright. Now, because we saw... what was it? Here, avionics. We need to get these to get night fighting equipment, so let's go with that. Early night fighting equipment was sort of the earliest stages. It was just fighters and often ME. I keep thinking, do I go BF 111s or ME 111s? Whole story behind why they use the two different initials. But no, we do have here. I need these guys forward. Let's put them up as air interceptors. See if they'll do all right. Make it. Keep them from too much bombing me. Got some here in. So you just use the basic fighters. Why is that now stuck? Oh, I think I hit it wrong. Okay. Yeah. It was just going up at night, and the British would fly over in streams, so that at night, the bombers, so they wouldn't bump into each other. But they'd all fly along a similar path, often after the earlier Pathfinders would come in just at sort of twilight when, you know, it's sort of dangerous to come in, but drop some flares slash fire bombs or whatever, just to get fires to mark the targets. So the incoming bombers would come in at night. You know, we're getting some action here. Not too much, okay. Bombing at least. Would come in. And so they would come along stream, so they'd have a path they would know, and they wouldn't bump into each other. They didn't fly in formation like the Americans did during the day. So they'd come in. So the Germans would very quickly figure out sort of the path that they were coming in, you know, across Germany through, you know, where they were coming through. And, you know, definitely once they had radar, which I need to build some radar and put them on the coast too. More building. So even before that, they used, you know, the big sort of ear things, you know, listen for the sounds and sort of get them spotted. And then they would direct generally lone fighters up there again so they wouldn't bump into each other. And they definitely were doing the lone fighters very much in boxes so that they wouldn't bump into each other, but they would be controlled with ground radar telling them right, left, or whatever. And they just try to come up there and get close enough to the bombers to see them, and mostly by just something that couldn't be seen from the ground, generally speaking, at least, I don't think most of the time, is sort of exhaust fires you don't normally see in the day coming out of the exhaust port or exhaust elements of the bombers. So they get in real close and see that, and their sort of tactic was, at least one of them was, is to, instead of trying to fly up behind them, because they, you know, sometimes sort of run into them, sort of hard to see and tell distance at night, is to come in below them, and they would have maybe like either in between or replacing the rear gunner observer in the 110s, just a more or less vertical shooting 20mm gun, and sort of come in underneath the flames of them and then shoot straight up at them and take them out that way. And that was the early ones. Later on they had, you know, radar installed, and the radar was very short range, and again there they had to have the general ground radar in the boxes to get them on the target, and then once they were near on the target they would then be able to identify a single target and come in at it and shoot it up. Okay, core HQs have advanced. We got to look at all that. We're going to let that go because that's a 39 tech. now that we're researching, and division HQs have advanced. Let's take a quick look at that. That's also 39, so we want to continue that. And Operation Rentier. Rentier? Hitler ordered preparations for Operation Rentier. If the Soviet Union invades Finland, 2nd Mountain Division from Norway would occupy the nickel mines. Petsamo, Finland, up here. So we need the nickel. So this is just organization now. Of course, we need to code that better. I don't know if I will, but I need to code that better to have it fire at this date, plus the occupying Norway. I could do that. Okay, and we mentioned I need to build radars. Calais, here in Brest. I guess Cherbourg as well, to try to see and look around. Probably also build one, but how much are these things costing me? 6 ICs until November. Well, that's a ways, but let's do one up here too. Okay, let's move all these to the top because I want them done as fast as possible. They will help the fighters deal with things day and night. How are we doing for revolt risk? Yeah, mostly it's over here. Probably off camera. I should spend time. Or maybe move these guys up. This occupational divisions, though they really did mostly stay in Germany until things really started going bad. Move you to Nance. We do have some light armored battalion. Try to get across the water there. Looks like we're winning well enough, just taking a bit of time. Normally once that victory point falls. But since we didn't do it through the diplomatic decision, they may have a stronger national unity, so I probably should send these guys up as well. Okay, what decisions do we have? Oh, Naval HQ. Okay. Marine Group and Commando Nord, Denmark, Westflank, Niederlanden, and something else under the text. If you were watching the Alt series, this hadn't happened yet, even though I had researched the level, because this has a requirement to be for the not to research it, but to get the event there, occupy enough of the provinces. So let's attach this to yeah, I guess North Sea is where it should go. I think some may still be over here that need to go French-wise. Yeah, right on the edge, so it's making me go. There we are. Did we already get this? Oh, we already got the Stumger Shoots battalions. That's right. Event. Okay, so I was waiting for this. So let's attach you to definitely to the North Sea and Marine Group and Commando Nord also to the North Sea. And okay, you're gonna need to go up to Norway once you get there. So we guess we have more freedom for the North Sea and West Frankenreich back here in Berlin. I don't know. I think I'm going to attach him. Let's attach him to Führer the U-boats because I think that may be actually where we're going to send him out to Brest, which I should have already done this by now. Let's send the Führer the U-boats because that's sort of where he got sent, or was, out to Lorient, which will, they, you know, at least a little bit help with the occupation duties out here and give a little more defensive against invasions. Alone, just as that headquarters won't stop a proper invasion, but would at least contribute to defense. Well, delay at the sort of minimum. We're going to give you to the Kriegsmarine, sort of the big giant doom stack, if you will. Delay it, or better yet, if it's stacked as part of some other garrison units, actually stop it. Contribute to that. So that's going that way. That's good. Okay, so we got that. Oh, you got them all the way around there. Well, oh, we also got the... They're down there. Good. Well, let's, even though they got somewhat organized, let's give them... Let's go skill. Let's give them a level 3 Panzer leader of some sort. Not a commando one, not an SS. Ah, these two would be nice. That's that one. We can get down and find that other one. Yeah. There they are. Okay, well, our next sort of adventure is down here, so head this way. And Sturmgeschütz, Totenkopf. That Panzer Division's already down there. And we also got the TK Ritter, Standard 1 and 2. So we got fighters over here. Don't we have fighters? Ooh, you've been messed up. Okay. You need to rest. Oh, Adolf Gallen's going after these guys. Any support now? Now they're chasing them back to Britain. That's... I gotta stop that. Let's go down here. Oh, well. Quick. And go just stop and rest. I don't want you destroyed. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Rebase. Oh, yeah, come back. Oh, you also. Gotta really, I guess, make sure that I'm not covering. Well, it's not always the. Oh, come on, X. They will sometimes just follow even if it's outside of their operation or scheduled operation range. They'll go over Britain, and once they get over Britain, they start losing badly because of various buffs they give Britain for the Battle of Britain, in fact, which to some degree is reasonable, but it's a little bit painful. Okay, let's also feel like being a little OCD'd here and go down here to find a naval guy. Let's have the right rank and do that here. Or nearly the right rank. Put him in charge. Okay. Yes, and where's the one that's going to down here? Here. Saw one that had yeah. We can. I may stick the U-boats under his command. Not that it really helps or anything, but just fun. We're still waiting for a lot of these guys to get over to the border. Okay, that's the militia units, or the reserve units. Now we're getting some units out here to the garrison units to help defend. Lots of infantry there. Get all of you guys. Let's send you down here too. Don't think we'll need you, but we're just sending you anyways. I did see that Soviet Union mobilizing, but I think that's for... Well, they've already got this. I don't know. Let's... start sending you east to make sure we have some level of garrison on our Eastern Front, more than just some SS garrison types. Well, since some of them are going this way, let's send them the rest down here. That's all done. Okay, that would also look good going east right now. Just sort of continue the bluff with the Soviets that, hey, we're super strong. You don't want to mess with us. Okay, Luxembourg volunteers. The German Wehrmacht mounted an intensive recruiting campaign in Luxembourg shortly after victory in the West. They were able to initially raise in the region of 2,000 volunteers pretty quickly, and that was here when they took it over. And they did more as time went on. But quite a bit for small, so 30 officers and just 3 manpower. I think that's fair, because we do have the bit from here, but that's still not very much, so a little one-time boost of volunteers. Oh, who's still going over? They get destroyed that fast? No, here they are. Okay, you go home and rest. Okay, what our attack was? Oh, truck and prime movers. That is useful. That speeds things up, organizes things up. So we're glad to get that done. Let's see. I guess because we no longer have that Vichy French effect, which I don't know why it disappeared on us. Maybe it was meant to be a brief boost. I don't know. Oh good, the Italians are going after Malta. That's really nice. They're pushing in the Western Desert. That's good. I'm glad. How are they doing down here? Well, only pushing a little bit against the British. Well, they're actually doing pretty well against the British. No. Oh, they wanted supply. Oh, they wanted supplies. Maybe I should have said yes to some of those. Too used to saying no to anything across the seas. Okay, well, mentioning that, let's see if the Soviet Union... Oh, can't. Oh no, yeah, we can. Sell supplies. How much in the hole? Ooh, 41. That's big time in the hole. Let's go 50. Good thing we built up all that reserve. I know you've heard me talk about it before. Yes, the Germans were selling supplies in several different formats to the Soviets, including heavy industrial equipment, licensing on production of things like motorcycles, all that kind of thing. And of course they were getting lots of raw materials from the Soviets. You need supplies or fuel or something. And the Soviets, yes, will give you more, help our trading power. Romania. Yes, you can have energy. Not just because we want the money, but because I want you to have energy to build things. Ah, torpedo boats, good. Well, I think mainly I want to use them up in here, so let's... Oh, man. That's the path. Take the path. Come on, guys, get across that river. Or the... Okay, replenishment, training, oh. It's here. Now, I really don't need the training center, so let's just attack it again with these guys. Could bomb it, but I'd rather have the ICs back. No, they just bomb it. And what technology have we gotten here? Okay, recon unit improvement. Oh, recon. Okay, coordination here. So we're now at 40. Okay, we're gonna let that continue. And what do we have? Repair the Reichswehr defenses. Yes, we want to do that. British attack Berlin. We lose. Ooh. We lose a lot of national unity. Okay, didn't like that bit of it. But I do think we get a lot of air defenses coming our way. Fairly cheaply. Okay, will you join in this attack too? Partially to get you grind it up, but partially just to add to the attack. Cavalry regiment's useful. Okay, well, it looks like we're getting a lot of stuff down here, though we need more fuel and more supplies down here. I guess it's coming from Berlin. Okay, build amphibious armor operations for Sea Lion. Yeah, I guess so. These are relatively useful, especially if I can attach them to like one of those marine divisions or something else. So let's move these guys down. But these are sort of low priority. Home front coordination. Supply throughput down, which I don't like. Repair rate. Supply transfer costs down though. Yeah. I guess we'll do that. Ah, field firing hole. Okay, well, get you ready for the next big invasion here. No, we don't want skill 0 air commander. Still not that great of a division. So we'll just give him this guy. While we wait for some of these units still to catch up and others to get supplies. Coming down. While we are invading Denmark. Okay. Now these people may want to... We would give them supplies for money. Sure. Sure. That will help our relations with them, as well as make us some money so we can pay for rare materials from the Soviet Union. Yeah, start construction of the flak towers. Okay, we have metal, plenty of metal right now. Yeah, not huge amounts, but plenty of that for 1,000 there. Energy, of course, we have lots and lots of that now. And supplies, we're reasonably flush on those, so yes, your defense network will gain. Notice these flak towers, big, huge things. So we'll start construction. I think eventually it will be flipping us some actual air, flak units and things. And we have more fighters. Okay, well, more. Check this out here. Got this guy. Can he no transport planes that can be loaded onto? Okay. We've got this, so I want to add, yes, that to that. Now is that, this is big with all this stuff on. No, now I'm wondering is, I think these German trucks make it unloadable, not or unairdroppable. I can always put it back, but I want to see now. Okay, whether it was the size of the unit, or the trucks are just too many, but I think it was that there were trucks. I do believe and it maybe should be, the light transports are airdroppable, but again, they take a lot of what do you call space on planes. These guys are definitely big things. Just sort of get ready to be able to redeploy up to here. Well, probably we should do this now. How much? Yeah. So that way they can get reorganized once they get there. And they still have some fighters there, so let's... That's already over-based. They could handle some... Richthofen would be, he's pretty good bomber. And it isn't too far down here. You get a little more organized, you can help control this airspace here. Oh, they're being pounded down. Cruiser damage control, well good, we like that. We like cruisers not sinking as easily as they might. So we got a lot of that home front, let's move that up one. That's a lot of that home front coordination there. Already pre-done. Got that, okay. Moving through that. Now let's get naval bombers. Okay, well I think this is a good point to end. We still haven't taken Denmark yet, but it's coming along and a little slower than I'd like. And we're getting very close to going after Yugoslavia. I'll probably do some shifting of headquarters and maybe higher ranking generals for the invasion of Yugoslavia coming up very soon here in August. Okay, well I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. And of course, please post questions, suggestions, ideas, comments, corrections, whatever below in the comment section. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.